Before we begin, just a quick note. This podcast is produced by qualified financial professionals and is intended to share general information and insights to help expats better understand common financial topics. However, everyone's circumstances are different and regulations can vary by country, so nothing discussed should be taken as personal financial, tax, or investment advice. If you're considering making financial decisions based on anything covered in this episode, we recommend seeking professional advice tailored to your individual situation.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Expert Money Matters. I'm your host Georgina, and today we are taking a trip to the heart of the Mediterranean, the beautiful island of Malta. With its stunning coastlines and rich history, it's always been a favourite holiday spot, but increasingly it's becoming a top destination for British expats looking to settle down permanently. Aside from the 300 days of sunshine, Malta offers some incredibly attractive financial benefits if you know how to navigate them. To guide us through the ins and outs of making the move, I'm delighted to be joined by a wealth manager from the Chase Buchanan team in Malta, Kevin Cassar. Kevin, welcome to the show. Let's start with the big draw for many people. We often hear Malta described as very tax efficient. Can you break down exactly what the tax landscape looks like for a foreign national moving there?
Malta offers a very attractive tax regime to foreign nationals as well as British expatriates looking at moving to Malta. Predominantly, if you are non-Maltese domicile, Malta applies the remittance basis of taxation on income. In Malta, there is no wealth tax, no inheritance tax, no capital gains tax, and there is 5% stamp duty tax on property transfers and acquisitions. Typically, one pays income tax on income which is physically brought into Malta. Essentially, that means that any income arising outside of Malta, capital gains arising outside of Malta, even if brought into Malta, won't be taxed. As you can imagine, this attractive tax regime is one of the main reasons why Malta has become a destination of choice over recent years, particularly attracting both foreign nationals as well as British expatriates. There are a number of residency programs in place designed for both EU nationals and non-EU nationals, professionals and retirees. And for this reason, it's always advisable to seek professional advice in choosing the appropriate residency program.
The distinction that you're typically only taxed on income you actually bring into Malta is a huge advantage. You mentioned that there are different residency programs available, but since Brexit, things have obviously changed for Brits. What are the specific options now for UK nationals who want to retire or live in Malta?
The residency process for British nationals has changed post-Brexit, obviously because British nationals now would be deemed as non-EU nationals. There are two main programs which are designed specifically for British nationals. One is the Global Residency Programme and the other one is the Malta Retirement Programme.
So you need to show that legitimate link to the island. A big part of that is where you live. For someone arriving fresh, what is the market like? Is it better to dive in and buy straight away, or do you recommend renting first?
The property market in Malta is very dynamic, fast-moving, and generally speaking is a very stable investment, particularly due to foreign and local demand. Typically, in the early days, our clients prefer to rent as opposed to purchase property until they get a better feel of the island and make a decision of where they should be residing permanently. Places such as St. Julian's, Sliema, Gozo, and even Valletta are among some of the most popular areas where our clients choose to reside. In terms of purchasing property, the process itself involves entering into a promise of sale which typically lasts around 3 to 6 months. One would need to appoint a notary of choice in order to handle the entire process, and the 10% deposit is left at the notary until completion. Property taxes include 5% stamp duty, and there are some other costs associated with certain registrations and forms which are required to complete the entire process. It's important to note that there are certain differentials when it comes to purchasing property in Malta as opposed to the UK.
That makes sense. Try before you buy is often the safest bet. Now, for the people who are listening and they're sitting in the UK right now, maybe with a house to sell and thinking about this move, what are the critical things they need to be aware of regarding timing and tax before they leave the UK?
Timing is very important when it comes to tax planning, particularly with regards to selling of UK property. It's worth bearing in mind that the UK tax year runs from April to April, whereas the tax year in Malta is calendar year. There are other considerations in terms of the timing of when you sell your main home in order to benefit for the principal private residency relief in full in the UK. There may be some other taxes to be paid on second homes or buy-to-let properties in the UK because there have been changes since April 2015 and non-residents would be liable to pay taxes in the UK on capital gains. Another point to bear in mind is that UK assets remain subject to UK inheritance tax irrespective of where one resides, and it's important that clients do not confuse residency with domicile.
That is a really crucial point. Residency is not the same as domicile, and getting that wrong can be expensive. Kevin, for someone ready to take the next step, how important is it to get this planning done before they get on the plane?
There are a number of considerations one needs to obviously take into account when making a move. A move requires a number of things that needs advanced planning, and timing is key. If we look at the UK side of things, the timing of the sale of the property, the timing of the move to Malta, the costs involved with the relocation, but also understanding which part of the island you would like to eventually reside. It's worth remembering that your UK advisor is no longer able to advise you once you move to Malta, and it is for this very reason that you should come and talk to us.
Absolutely. Timing is everything, and having an advisor who understands both sides of the border is essential. Kevin, thank you so much for sharing those insights. It's clear that Malta is a fantastic option, but one that requires careful navigation to get the best out of it. If you're listening and dreaming of a life in Malta, make sure you start those conversations early. Don't leave your financial planning until after you've unpacked. I'm Georgina. This has been Expert Money Matters, and I'll see you next time.